Okay, this is for Niaz. I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry, but basically this is just going to be an overview of BoxCutter. There are plenty of videos out there that show this, not least of which from Master Xeon himself, but Niaz has been having trouble following those. He feels they're a bit complex, so I'm just going to show something basic. We're just going to start with a cube. Just going to move that up because I like my cubes to be on the Z. And actually I think I'll scale that Shift Z to let me put the screencast keys on. There we go. Let's make that font size a bit bigger so we can see them. Okay. There's a few things he was asking. One was the material. Now this will be using HardOps and BoxCutter. Now HardOps, if you do Alt V, it pulls up this, and you choose high quality, then Alt V again, and turn off the shadows. It just looks neater that way. Then I actually go in here and drop the viewport to somewhat like 16 because my machine isn't that quick, and that's also set up all the other things. I put half trace on again because my machine isn't quick. The next thing is the material. Now if I remember rightly, I thought there was a material within HardOps. Apparently not. Well, anyway, I just new material, click in it and call it base. And all I do with this is I'll set the slightly grey, make it metallic, and set the roughness to about 0.3. And then if we go up here, now yours might be down. You might actually have yours down here. I just like mine up at the top. So I always flip it up there, so everything's up in the top right. And you choose viewport shading, material preview, or you can press Z and choose material preview. And then I'll just maybe make that a tiny bit darker like that. And then because I'm working in HardOps, I'll do Q. And I'll do a C sharpen just to give me sharpen edges and bevels. Now all that really does is, if we just take this here, I can do the same thing in edit mode. I can go select sharp edges, then I can go Control E for edge menu and I can mark them sharp. And then I can press edge, and you can set the edge bevel weight and press 1 and return. And if I press N for numeric and go to item, you can see I've now got bevel weight at 1. Then I can right mouse button, shade that smooth, go over here, go into normals and turn on my auto smooth. And that's basically just done the same as what sharpen would. If I can move that down here a bit, as what sharpen would in HardOps. So if I select the base material for that, and then I just apply a bevel modifier and set it to weight, give it 4 of them, and say, I don't know, 2 centimeters. And then you can see I've come pretty close to that one. The only difference is HardOps let me do it in a single click rather than going through all that process. But that shows you can achieve exactly the same result manually. holding shift on this now I can increase and decrease the bevel amounts. So like that one's change that to arc. And you can see they are pretty much the same. And we want to harden normals as well. Take that off. All that does is just means if you go over with a bevel, it tries to prevent it. I turn it off so I know when I am going over. So we turn that in. Something like that. 0.02. So let's do 0.02 on that. And there you go. Can do exactly the same result. It's just that with HardOps it's one button. So I can drag, boom, boom, ding, select that, Q, C#, and then just give it a base. And there you are. So that's just done that quickly. And I'll just duplicate that as well. Just delete that and duplicate that again. And Shift D and X, so it's only I can duplicate it, then move it directly on the X. So now we've got 3 items. This one I'm going to go Alt X. That's symmetry. That one I'm going to Alt X, and that's the mirror modifier. I don't tend to use the bisect. That doesn't have anything on it. So right now I can go into Alt W, and I'm now in BoxCutter. By default it's set to box and non-destructive. So let's cut a box here. Oops, need to select that item. So if I've got that item selected and I start drawing a box on here, it doesn't know what it's doing because it's trying to draw it on here. So I do like that. Select that, do the same. And because that's got the mirror modifier on, which is at the bottom of the stack, then it does that. And this just has a bevel. So again, if I do that, nothing. If I select that, Alt X, and choose symmetry, oh, I've got to apply the boolean first, of course. Right. So that's not doing anything. The reason it's not doing it is if I go into edit mode, I'm actually just copying that across. In order for that to go across to here, I would actually have to apply this boolean. And now when I do symmetry, that goes across. So again, if I cut another one out and I try symmetry, it doesn't go across because only those are there. Now if I do want that to go across, I can look for the cutters. If I highlight them all so they're all visible, that's the cutter I want. But I want that to go across, so I shift click this, then Alt X, and that mirrors across active. So I hide that. And so I duplicated the cutter there rather than doing the actual base geometry. I could do the same if I do D, let's do a circle. Shift click to keep that active. Hold, pressing caps locks. Hold shift click, Alt X. That one's duplicated. And you see again there, because I've actually got the cutter highlighted, it's not cutting how you'd expect it. I'm going to hold shift this time and I'm actually going to edit this one. I'm going to hide that face, select that face, zoom into it, insert, extrude, insert, extrude up, insert, move it up. Now hide that cutter, and that's only gone in there. And again, the base mesh still hasn't got any of that in because it's non-destructive. So that's one. This one has got the modifier on, so anything I do, I put a cutter in here, it automatically gets mirrored. Let's do a circle of 6. You can choose a box. And use another box. Don't want to do that. Then V, X, roll. There we go. Now let's say that particular one, I want that only on this side. I can either apply things or I can check for that boolean, which is that one, and I can move it down the stack. So that's now only on that side. I've basically put the mirror before that one. If I move the mirror up, and you can see as I'm moving the mirror up the stack, it's only left that one. And then if I move it back down the stack, I'll do Shift R to repeat the process. So it's done everything but that. The only thing you've got to watch for there is the sort within here as to whether it redefines it. So if I try to add a box here, hold on, select that, add a box. You see, because I've added that box, it's automatically resorted the booleans. But you can stop that from happening within the behavior, because it tells you there what modifiers to sort. So you can change your boolean, you can hold on to the booleans or not. If you see that there, you can turn that off so it will not sort them. So if I now add a cut there, that's not sorted them. So I just do that. And as you can see, that's created a mess. Now you can fix that, because don't forget we're still a cube here. All that geometry hasn't been applied. What I'll do there, go in, I'll turn on my wireframes, and I'll choose my B width. I'll just ease that in a bit. Now what I'm going to do here is go in, I'm going to turn on all the cutters, holding the shift down as I do that. Right, I'm going to go in here, and with the cutters visible I'm going to make some decisions. I'm going to put a Control R and put a loop cut there. So I'm going to Control R, I'm going to put a loop cut there. I'm going to Control R, I'm going to put a loop cut there, and I'm also going to Control R, I'm going to put another loop cut there. And I'm just placing loop cuts where I want things to intersect now. Like that. In fact, I don't need that one now. And if I go out, you can see how the boolean now has made a much tidier result of that. simply because of those cuts. So if I was to apply that now, it would look much nicer and be much more manageable for further editing manually. Okay, I'll turn off the wireframe again. And we can hide all the cutters just by clicking on that button. So this one, I'm going to use the modifier. I'm going to put the bevel at the end. And we're just going to do something simple here now. And actually, we'll move that up. There we go. Have I turned the sorting off? There we go. Turn that back on. Let it sort itself out. There. And we'll just go back to box. Press X, so that's a cut in. B to bevel. Now again, you see that's made a mess there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a loop cut here, like that. Let's turn on wireframe again. Make everything visible. Let's see what we're doing. Now that is actually an issue with the bevel. The bevel's too much. As you can see, it's got nothing to do with the underlying geometry. If I come out of perspective mode, it'll allow me to zoom in. That bevel's just too much. So I'm going to bevel width. And I'm just going to bring that down. Like that. That's better. And we can cut into this a bit. Okay, let's turn off the wireframe so it looks nice. And then do a hang on. E. Double click. D. B for box. V. Y. Move that along. There we go. Circle. 6. I actually want to rotate that, so I'll shift click or Z. -30, say. Yep. And then I can actually go into edit mode. Shift D. Gonna GY. Move that down here. Scale it. Shift Z. GY. Move it up. Shift D Y, so it's going on the Y. Scale Shift Z. Then hide that. I can Control Z to unhide that because I've decided I want to make it smaller, so Scale Z. Lift that up. Now hide it again. Oh, we want a box. Here we go. and I'm actually going to use an array within HardOps now. And you can see that because this is symmetry, even though it doesn't go all the way across, because it's mirrored down here, it does do all across. So I'll just select that and hide it. And there we go. And again, if I go into edit mode, it's still just that. So we could maybe, again, if we hold that down and just drag, click, hold and drag to turn them all on, so I can see what's going on. I can do a Control R here, and a Control R, and just line that up there. That's cutting through most of them. Alt click that, GX, I'm going to move that over more like that, and maybe put one here as well, just for the fun of it. Okay, I can hide all those now. In 2.79 you used to be able to just alt click that and it would hide or show everything. Visibility, oh, show all inside, there we go. Visibility, hide all inside. So you can do it, there we go. B for bevel, rolling my mouse button, then I'm holding, then I'm just going to press tab at that point. So this hasn't applied it, but you can, depending on what version you've got, you can now edit it. I can manually tweak this before saving it, can alter where that goes, I can alter the bevel. Then just double click because I'm happy with it. Out here we'll just have a nice, again because I'm going over there it does the whole thing. I'll do X to give myself a thing, and bevel. There we go. Select that, so I'm working on that minimum one. And we'll have a nice little cut. Now I'm going to do what they call a laser cut, so I'm just doing a double D, double click, that's cut all the way through. That little piece there. But again, if I tab into edit, it's still all this. So then you can save it. Let's save as, I'll just call it Orgo1. And then I would save it again as Orgo2 by increment it, and then I'll go to here, bam, and I'll even apply that, just leaving the bevel. Again, do that and apply that. Oh, we've lost so much, so let's just double back up. This may crash. I would imagine it will. Something's gone wrong there. Okay, let's restore that one. Don't save it. Oh, I'd already done something wrong. Hey-hoo. Ah, wait a minute. Slice, maybe? Is there a slice missing? Ah, my slice is missing. That turned off the slice as well as the cutters. Right. Save that. Resave as to. Okay. This. Apply. Apply the mirror. That. Apply. Apply the mirror. That. Apply this geometry is actually full geometry. Like that. And you can see the mess that is. That's tidy. That's not too bad. So this is why you save previous versions. So looking at that, what we can do is, again, we can revert because we haven't saved it. We can apply that and apply the mirror. Go in. We like that. I'm going to take that, apply that, and apply the mirror. We like that. Now this is a mess. So what we want to do is apply some cuts, because don't forget this is still based off the original. So again, let's turn on all the cutters and turn on wireframe, go into edit mode, and let's make some cuts based on this. One there and one about there, and maybe we have to do a first one in the middle because it's symmetry, so, and we'll put one there. Right, now I'm going to save that before I go any further. Now if I apply that and apply the boolean, you can see that the result of that is much tidier. And if we turn off the wireframe, go into edit mode, deselect everything, you can see you can actually select those two and do an alt X because they're not needed. So that's a bit of cleanup you can do. And that gives you a nice tidy geometry to play with. So like I can say go in here, select that. Let's make this one a bit different. Insert it. Insert it again. 3, alt click, E, and up. Select that, insert, E, like that. So that makes that one a bit different. Same there actually, what you can do is to select them, and control bevel it. Now that's a mess, so what you would do, actually if we go into solid mode it'd be a bit easier to work with. I'm going to press numpad / to isolate that. Oh, I've lost my keys, lost my screencast keys. Oh, where have they gone? Strange. So there we go. I just keep pressing the numpad there. I'm going to K here, and I'm just going to cut these here down like that. Then I'm going to select that. I'm going to move my cursor to there. I'm going to select all of those. Dot 3D cursor, and I'm going to scale XO so they're all in a nice line. And I'll go back to medium point. So I can GX, move that down, do a Control B, like that. And I Control B that. And I'll come out, and then I'll just Q operation. No, I need to come out of local mode. HardOps doesn't like local mode. Do sharpen. That's not done out. Yes, it has. But we don't want such a hard bevel on, a distinctive bevel on them. So I'm going to do Q, set sharp, N, item, set the bevel weight to 0.5. In fact, let's even try 0.3. gonna scale XO to straighten it, and a Shift R to straighten that one. That's a bit nicer. In fact, I don't even want that much on them. I'm going to 0.1. Here we go. That's not very tidy, but I'm going to GY GZ, manually make that bigger. That looks a bit better. There we go. And again, I can still pick up with this and just cut bits into it again. And shift clicking on that. Go into edit mode. I'm going to hide the top one. I'll scale that on the X and hide. So there you go, it shows you what you can do. And then again, I can save this, then save as, add one to it, then apply them. Just that way there's absolutely everything's done manually now. There's no... I'm just going to move the cursor back to the world origin. Now you can see we've got some issues going on here. This is where manual tidy up will come in. I'm actually going to do a knife cut from there. In fact, what I'll do is I'll do a cut straight across like that. I'm going to go select that, do Control X, Control X, like that. That's tidier. Just line that up a bit more. I'm doing GG there for an edge slide. I can do the same here, or I could just GY, GX, move that up. There we go. And that gets rid of that issue. That's just a little bit of manual tidying up. And again, that's quite bad. That there. So the easiest way around that is to actually look at the bevel and change it from angle to weight, and then do a Q and sharpen, and then we can select this bit here, and I'm just going to go plus, plus, hide everything else. Hide them, hide, no, hide, not delete, hide. And then I'm just going to go into edge, select that, select by bevel, and set the bevel weight to 0.3. And that just looks tidier. Looks like we've got an issue here, so let's go in. Point three. Yeah, maybe drop the bevel weight down a little. 0.5. That looks tidier. Do the same at the other side. Set that to 0.5. There we go. and again there's nothing to stop us then just carrying on with a boolean like that. Bevel it, tab, and allows us to close the bevel a bit better. Drag that down a bit, double click. So again, probably put a control loop in there. Actually you can't, so I'll just cut there, like that. And that makes that tidier. Right. And let's have something sticking up. So J, O, lift it up, bevel. There we go. And again, turn these on and we can select their cutter, select that, mirror across active, select the cutter, select that, mirror across active, then hide those cutters, and then you can save that, and then once again you can apply the booleans, go into here, and I'm going to manually set sharp there, and then control plus, select loop, boundary loop, and set sharp. And what I'm actually going to do now is I'm actually going to do Alt X, but I'm going to use symmetry. And that did the work of copying it back across for me. So again, if I select that, set sharp. Now we don't want these set sharp, so I'll go to these. We do not want set. Well, they can be set sharp, but we don't want any bevel. So just drop the bevel weight to 0 on them. Bevel weight 0. Bevel weight 0. Bevel weight 0. And again, you can see the difference at the moment. Alt X, symmetry, sorted. And then if you suddenly decide you want both these the same, so again, that's easy. Alt X, symmetry, boom, there you go. So, hope that's been educational.